Colleagues, as I'm sure you know, every proper document, be it your dissertation in school or a simple essay that you are writing, it has an introduction, the main body, and the conclusion. You would find that in the NPPs manifesto, chapter by chapter, when we pick a particular theme we seek to speak to, there's an introduction, there's expression of the vision and the strategic framework, and then you come to the specific promises that we are making in pursuance of that vision within that strategic framework. I'm going to ask my colleagues to project on the screens, for example, one of the examples that they touted today that deals with agriculture. So you notice that in their tables, and you recall they kept mentioning that there's a lot of detailed analysis. They will put it on the internet for all of us to have an opportunity to interrogate. So you notice that in their details under agriculture, they have added a number of promises to the specific promises that we have made. And we'll show you how they have arrived at those promises. So we captured this, for example, as they were doing their presentation on television. They claim that we've made a promise that 1, we will modernize agriculture as a promise. 2, we will improve agricultural production efficiency as a specific promise. 3, we will achieve food security as a specific promise. 4, we will improve profitability for farmers as a specific promise. And they go on and on and on and on. And then they proceed to score all of those ones as failed, and mention the pages on which these promises are found. Now let's go to the NPP manifesto. And let's go to the chapter that deals with agriculture. We don't want to take too much of your time, but we'll demonstrate to you the true intellectual dishonesty in how they have added to the 388 promises that we have made. This is the page of the NPP manifesto that deals with agriculture. So you see an introduction that says agriculture continues to be the anchor of the country's economy, employing more than half of our workforce. Growth in this sector has declined dramatically under the NDC's management, incompetence and corruption. Food is unnecessarily expensive in a country that is blessed with fertile land, and we go on and on. Paragraph 2 now spells out the vision and the strategic framework. And colleagues, I need you to pay attention to paragraph 2. So in expressing the vision, we say, our vision for the next 4 years is to modernize agriculture. You see where they've picked that promise from? To improve production efficiency, to achieve food security and profitability for our farmers, all aimed at significantly increasing agricultural productivity. And then we explain the strategic framework that the NPP will pursue a value addition strategy aimed at rapidly ramping up agro-processing and developing new and stable markets for our products. And now we come to the specific promises. That in pursuing this vision, this is what we will do. Please go down so that our colleagues can see it. And we refer you to the copies of the manifesto. In pursuing this vision, the NPP will do the following. And we say, 1, increase subsidies on retail prices of seeds, fertilizers, and other agrochemicals. We say 2, focus on developing irrigation schemes in the farm plains and the northern savannah. What you notice our colleagues have done is that to increase our promises from the 388 to this, they are supposed 600 and something. What they have done is that they go and lift the vision and the strategic framework, then they copy words and phrases out of the vision as articulated and create them as new promises. This is what they have done this afternoon, claiming that they have discovered some new promises that we didn't make. But the words are unequivocal in the manifesto. And so this attempt to distort the base and claim that we have made a representation that is dishonest. This attempt itself is the true definition of intellectual dishonesty. Because in our manifesto, we have said what the vision is, what the strategy is, before we come to the specific promises. How is it that you now pick words and phrases out of the vision and the strategy and claim they are promises? And as we go through with the little we've been able to look at so far, you'll find many examples of this. As I mentioned, these are preliminary remarks. We'll have an opportunity to do a bit more as we go ahead. Now, when you come to the specific promises that we have made, as far back as February, 4 months ago, His Excellency the Vice President articulated them. The details are out there on the website, and they have not been challenged until 4 months down the line we have this exercise of adding words from our vision and our strategic framework to increase the number of promises, just so that the base will now become bigger. And then when you score the number of promises that we have completed or in the process of completing over it, you get a low percentage. This is how, in many instances, they have added some 235 extra promises that they claim they have discovered. And as the days go by, we'll have an opportunity to do a lot more of this. These are preliminary remarks that we believe we must draw your attention to, even as you start your own analysis of what they have done today. How many promises were actually made? You pick the manifesto. They are there in bullet points that this is what we'll do. And we have repeated them on our webpage, which is delivery.gov.gh, which webpage we announced right from that evening in Kumasi, and which webpage is available for you to go out there and interrogate. So this new claim that some new promises have been found, we are showing you how they've arrived at those new promises. They are lifting words from vision and strategic framework and adding same to increase the number of promises, so that they can say we've been dishonest, so that they can have a bigger base, and then when you express the numerator over it, you can get a lower percentage and say that we have not done well. In any case, this so-called claimed 14% will not even be believed by the hardcore NDC members. If you ask them, they themselves will not score President Akufo-Addo 14% on his record so far. But we believe that this attempt to distort records is important for us to speak to.